goods? We're back, episode 3 of the podcast, and we got NFL Conference Championship games this week. And boy, do we got 2 good games for you. We got our guest again, JK and JP. How you guys doing today?
Solid. Excited for these games, boys.
It's warm out. That's not good for San Francisco, but go ahead, Josh.
All right, well, starting off, we'll hit that game. The early game on Sunday, we have San Francisco 49ers at the Philadelphia Eagles. Over-under is 47, 46 and a half, depending on the books you use. And the spread is minus 2.5 for the Eagles. And that line has not changed since it came out, basically. So some of the numbers I got to start us off with. A little confusing right off the bat. So the last 10 games they played straight up, 49ers are 3-7, the Eagles are 7-3. But when they're at Philadelphia, the last 10 they played, the 49ers are 7-3 and the Eagles are 3-7. So backwards numbers there. They've both been winning a bunch. The 49ers have hit a bunch of overs lately. The Eagles have actually went under a lot lately. But when these two teams play, their 4 out of the last 5 have went under and 5 out of the last 7 went under. Statistically, this is the best defense versus the best offense. Now, those are stats from all year long. What are you guys thinking for this game?
Well, Josh, if you don't mind, I'll jump in next because I want to jump on what you said there on some of these numbers. You boys liked it last week when I came in with the referee stats, so your boy went digging again.
Well,
Lead referee is John Hussey. 56% of his games hit the under. And both teams have had success whenever he calls games this year. Philly 6-0 straight up against the spread. San Francisco 4-1 straight up and against the spread. But the big takeaway is since 2016, home teams are 75-38.
Ooh.
So I like Philadelphia in this game. Straight up. I think, and another point I want to touch on is this Jeremy Lin bullshit we have going on at quarterback at San Francisco. Can we stop comparing him to Tom Brady? Can we stop praising this kid? He's not him. Like, I'm ready for the Brock Purdy magic to end. I'm ready for that story to be done and over with. Philadelphia's a better team. Jalen Hurts MVP. That's how it's going to go.
Okay, I touched upon it earlier with the weather, and I said a lot of people will be like, wait, did you mean Philadelphia would have the advantage in a warm climate? Yeah, I absolutely do, because Hurts is banged up. And if it was freezing cold, the Giants, we saw that was a blowout. You're not going to really know what your team's about after that playoff game. The Niners have played 2 playoff games. Not only did they beat the Seahawks, who were absolutely tough as hell, but, dude, they really impressed me against Dallas. To your point about Purdy, something about this kid has something to him. I talked about him back in the regular season. I was like, there's something about this kid that makes San Francisco tougher to play. I think that the crazy part about this is that spread. I do think the Eagles win this game. I think it's going to be super close. I don't think they cover, though. I think it's going to be like a 1-point game. I think it's going to be a great game. I think the Eagles ultimately win. But very seriously, if it was cold, I think the Eagles would have been in trouble because Hurts is injured, and it's clear as day he's injured. If you guys watched that game against the Giants, I don't know, what did you guys think whenever you watched him? Like, he wasn't the same Hurts we saw earlier in the year running the ball, and that was by design. And they actually acknowledged the fact that he's not 100%. And he got sick before the game, so he'll be healthy. He'll be good. I don't really know if they're going to cover. I do like them on a money line bet, putting a little extra money in to win a lot because the money line's not bad at all.
Yeah, I agree. I'm staying away from the spread on this one. I am leaning towards the money line for Philadelphia as well. There's a player prop I really like for this game as well. Last week we saw, someone very emotional on the sidelines of Philadelphia. It wasn't Jalen Hurts. It was A.J. Brown. They blew the brakes off of New York last week, but he was just not involved, and he was visibly not happy. A.J. Brown, anytime touchdown, plus 170. I like those odds. I'm taking.
I like that. I like that too, actually. I do like that because I feel like the Eagles won't be able to run on the 49ers like they've been running on every other team. So Hurts is going to have to pass to get some touchdowns. So I like I like a few. I like at least Hurts to get at least 2, maybe even 3 passing touchdowns this game. Even though 49ers defense is literally the best statistically, this is the way the Eagles win this game, I believe.
Hey, while you're on the subject of player prop bets, go back to what we talked about the tight ends last week. Boy, were we right on the money.
I
Right on the
know.
money
I
with
think them
Dalton
boys
Schultz and
showed out
Kittle.
last night.
Oh
Ooh.
man, I was proud.
Oh, and that Christian McCaffrey touchdown too. We called a lot of that. We called a lot of props last week.
Hey, speaking of McCaffrey, kid you not, right? Getting off my shift, I see this guy in a big ass truck, pulls in. He has a 49ers hat. I go, hey man, I was gonna bet heavy on the Eagles, but that Niners hat's scaring me. Then he looked at me dead in the eyes. He goes, Christian McCaffrey's the best fucking running back ever. If he was fully healthy, he'd break all the records. He meant it. And I don't know. So
It's-
Niners, scared. We're not even betting anything on that game.
Yeah, no, and I am favoring the under. So at the beginning of the week, I was like an overs for both games, and now I'm starting to lean unders for both games. Because like we're at the point now where like, so I wasn't gonna come on here with a bunch of stats actually, because we're at the point now where like, dude, like the better team's winning the game. The numbers don't matter, the stats don't matter. Like we got the last 4 teams left. The better teams are gonna win these games. So I feel like it's gonna be a dogfight in both of these games.
Yeah, I agree with you too. Yeah,
I'm
we've
starting-
got stellar defenses in both of these games. You know, I think it's really, like what you said.
Yeah, and I mean Eagles have a bunch of sacks too. I believe they led the league. So I mean it's not like their defense isn't almost as good as 49ers anyways. So yeah, no, these are gonna be dogfights. We're gonna see if Brock Purdy is actually who he's been hyped up to be or not, or if the Eagles are really just that damn good. So,
It's
yeah,
a huge mismatch as far as the cities go. My God, I wouldn't want those fairies fighting for me. The Eagles fans are rowdy. I think just the fans alone, we're gonna go Eagles.
All right, we're moving on to the primetime game. Man, this one's gonna be a doozy, man. Where are we at? Burrowhead Stadium? Is that
Yeah, Burrowhead, baby.
but we got the Cincinnati Bengals at the Kansas City Chiefs.
I'm leading this one off, JP Iron. Sorry, my fault, John.
Go for it. Take it away. Take it away.
Let the man speak, John. I like to hear what John says. I like the intro, dude. Relax.
Okay. We got the over/under at 49, 48 and a half, depending on your book, and the spread is -1.5 to the Chiefs now. Now this has changed almost every 24 hours this whole entire week. The Bengals were -1.5 at one point. Now the Chiefs are back to -1.5. The Chiefs opened up as the favorite, and now they're the favorite again. But most of the money is still being bet on the Bengals right now. The Chiefs only have about 30% of the money, and that is the lowest amount of money that a Patrick Mahomes game has ever had on the Chiefs in his entire career.
Wow.
So both of these teams are 11-1 in the last 12 games this season. The under has hit the last 7 of 8 games they played in Kansas City. Now here's where the numbers get a little wild. So Bengals are 7-1 the last 8 straight up against the Chiefs. Bengals are 5-1 against the spread on the last 6. So Bengals, when it comes to playing Kansas City, Bengals seem to be a kryptonite for them against them. Like the Chiefs have a tough time beating the Cincinnati Bengals, and you can't say that about many teams when it comes to Patrick Mahomes. Now the Chiefs are usually bad against the spread, and Bengals are usually very good. But this is basically a pick'em game. Like the line's only -1.5, so I don't know how much people have to worry about the spread. But at the same time, if you feel like a point is that big of a deal, always play the spread. What do you got?
I'm touching on that point you made. All right, so dating back to like the early 2000s, the Cincinnati Bengals have always had the Kansas City Chiefs number. The Chiefs were like 9 or 10-0 one year, and the lowly Bengals went into Arrowhead and beat them. It's like in the NFL, there's certain teams that always seem to beat other teams. However, all that goes out the window, and here's why. Last week, I made the big proclamation that the Bills are going to kill and put everything on it. Ironic, I got stuck. I tried to get to the casino and put all my money on it, literally, all weekend long, and God intervened and stopped it completely. And I didn't get my bet in. I was fucking fuming because even when the Bills were down, I thought the Bills were going to win. The Bengals dominated both sides of the line of scrimmage in a way I've never seen. I have no idea how they did it. They had 3 undrafted rookies on that offensive line, a couple guys making their first start. And what's preposterous to even think is that the Bengals going into the Bills stadium with the Bills having the snow and everything, like that was shell shock. It's going to come back to reality this weekend. Very seriously, I'm taking Patrick Mahomes over Burrow for one reason only. Burrow, I said, was going to be a winner from day one, and Burrow has impressed the hell out of me. Obviously, he's impressed everybody, right? He's a winner. He's cocky. However, I talked about Justin Herbert. If I was starting a franchise, I'd want Herbert over Mahomes just because of the girlfriend stuff and the Mahomes commercials. It's just like, if I was a franchise, it's just like too much Mahomes. This game is going to define Patrick Mahomes' career. He's went head-to-head in a Super Bowl against Brady. Burrow and Mahomes seems to be the new Tyson versus insert whatever boxer you think's the best that went up against Tyson. But make no mistake, fellas, Patrick Mahomes is Mike Tyson in his fucking prime. And if you dare bet against him and you dare bet against Andy fucking Reid, and we're going to take Zach Taylor, or whatever the fuck that stupid ass coach's name is, bring back Marvin Lewis, fucking shoot Taylor outside, fucking run him over, kill Burrow, fuck Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes, Kansas City Chiefs. I'm taking everything I have, and I'm doubling it down. And guess what? The Chiefs are going to win this fucking game. Just kidding.
How do I follow that up? Let me touch on a few things that you said. Joe Burrow, 3-0 in his career against Patrick Mahomes. But you know what, Josh? You know what? Quarterback wins should not be a stat. They don't mean shit. Okay? Ron Torber's ref in this game. 70% of his games hit the under. Lock it in. Okay?
Oh, see, that's what I like. Already feeling this.
The teams who are favorites, the teams who are favorited to win, straight up are 43-9. Who's the favorite? Kansas City. What I just say, quarterback wins don't mean shit. Kansas City's winning this game. Lock in the money line. Hit the under. Player prop. McKinnon plus 160. And Josh, you're wrong. Mahomes is not Mike Tyson. He's Money Mayweather. He ain't gonna lose. Kansas City to the Super Bowl against Philadelphia. It is what it is.
Oh yeah.
Man. Yeah.
Dad, I need 10 grand. I want to put 10 grand on the Chiefs. If you're listening to this, let's talk tomorrow.
Yeah, and
Free 10 grand. Free 10 G's.
And I'm really favoring Travis Kelce touchdown again, because to end the season he didn't score for like 5-6 games, I believe, and then last week he had 2, and big dogs show up in big positions, so I believe a Travis Kelce touchdown's almost imminent to happen this week.
Burrow gets sacked 5 times tomorrow in Arrowhead. You heard it here first.
You mean Burrowhead or Arrowhead? Which one?
It's Arrowhead. Fuck that Burrowhead shit, dude.
Dude, anytime that shit happens, bro, the teams will always lose. You get that shit talking like that, this Burrowhead shit, it's going to come back to bite them. It does every time for every single team.
Well, guess what? I heard that the grandson of Sam, the old serial killer from New York, moved out to Kansas City. He's waiting up there with a sniper rifle. So I don't have Burrow making it out of the game alive, but that's just me. And that's only an underground book that you can get that bet.
Yeah,
I mean, you want to talk about a great story. Sorry to talk over you. I mean, like Patrick Mahomes' injury. I mean, he's looked great all week in practice, allegedly, but you have to imagine that's what has caused all the movement and the spread throughout the week. Is people being fearful of his ankle and what that's going to mean, how it's going to impact the game. But
overreaction to Buffalo. Sorry to overtalk you. Overreaction to Buffalo blowing that game. Everybody sees like the look of Stephon Diggs and Allen being overwhelmed. They're like, oh man, Bengals are for real. Bengals are for real. Do that in Arrowhead, dude. The Chiefs have already showed that they're tougher than the Bills. Mentally, physically, emotionally, and X's and O's wise, the Chiefs are the better team.
And they can run the ball too, which Buffalo can't do. I mean, they don't even have a star running back. I think it'll be a close game.
Warren or the Steelers would be the number 1 running back for the Bills, realistically. Like the backup running back on teams that didn't make the playoffs would start. Same for the Raiders. Kenyon Drake would start.
Yeah, I agree, man. We got some good games, and I like both of the winners you guys picked. I'm favoring those sides. I'm strongly favoring the unders on both games. My favorite. So sorry. What's everybody's favorite bets in this weekend? Go ahead, start off, JK.
Oh, it's just real simple. One bet, I got a little emotional. I hope that Joe Burrow doesn't get killed tomorrow. I'm going to get arrested, and I won't be able to be after the Super Bowl thing because everybody's going to look at me as suspect number 1. And hey, I might be. Girl I went out with the other night, she said Joe Burrow's cute. Fuck that. Fuck that. Fuck Joe Burrow. Fuck Joe Burrow. I said it again. Fuck that cocky ass little kid. Don't like him. Don't like the Bengals anymore. Who day? We day? Nobody. Chiefs win the game. I don't even want to start doing the who day thing because that looked like an ass last week. And guess what? Josh Allen Fuck you, Josh Allen. I'd rather have Herbert. Herbert didn't blow the game against the Jaguars. Allen, you blew that game. You got to hit. Oh, wait. Gabriel Davis should have made that catch at the end, too. Side note. That was terrible. He had that ball right in the breadbasket. Gabriel Davis, you got to make that catch.
All right, so what's your favorite bet, JP?
We're going 49ers, Eagles. We're going Eagles money line and AJ Brown anytime touchdown. Bengals and Chiefs. We're going the under, and we're going Derek McKinnon anytime touchdown. Or Jerick McKinnon, not Derek. Sorry about that. Didn't disrespect your name like that, my guy.
Yeah. So, and I like the Travis Kelce touchdown. And I'm also going to be teasing. I'm teasing both underdog spreads because I believe they're both going to be good games. And I'm teasing both over-unders to get even money on both of them. I think those are two strong parlays to be putting in for this week. And, yeah, that's what I'm favoring. That's what I'm favoring a lot for this week. So we'll see how it goes.
Hey, guys, all kidding aside, I think that this NFL playoffs without Brady and some of like the, some of the big dogs from the past, Aaron Rodgers, Brady, seeing New England make it far. I mean, this really does look like it's going to be the four teams that are going to be here for the next 5 to 10 years with everybody, including the Niners. The Niners defense is built so strong. I can't believe how good their defense is. So
I agree.
It wouldn't shock me. It wouldn't shock me no matter what the Super Bowl matchup is, just to enjoy some football. I do think that Chiefs game against the Bengals, I really am thinking about going pretty heavy on it, just because I think it's just easy money. And if I get fooled again, then shame on me, but that offensive line's weak, guys. It really and truly is. I don't know how they made it to the AFC Championship game or made the Super Bowl last year.
Yeah, they made the Super Bowl last year with an even worse line.
Yeah, and Donald. Yeah, the guy, dude, Aaron Donald just dominated them. You know what I mean? There's no I don't think that there's any way that the Bengals can get by the Chiefs in Arrowhead. You know what I mean? Just don't see it.
Is there anything that you could see happening that would surprise you this week in any of these games? Any outcomes?
Mahomes getting injured and being out early, and the Chiefs are just docile, and the Bengals roll over top of them because Burrow's that much better than anybody else that I would come into the game. I know that the Chiefs love their backup quarterback. I think it's actually
Chad Henne.
Right? Yeah, I mean Henne's had some huge. Dude, there's one game I bet against the Chiefs, and I learned my lesson, man. And Henne, oh man.
Dude, it was against the Browns in the playoffs.
Yes, I bet on the fucking
Browns.
I love the Browns too much.
Yeah, dude.
They were big dogs. Then he got hurt, and then it was just Henne, and I thought I was going to win the bet. I was so sick to my stomach. That was one of my worst losses. Great memory, JP Irons. Let's give a little round of applause to JP Irons on that memory around the cup. We didn't know we were going to talk about that.
How could you forget, as a Steeler fan, you just got embarrassed the week before by Cleveland, and so you got to go watch them play Patrick Mahomes.
JP, side note on that Raiders or that Browns Steeler game where it was Ben playing, I was telling everybody I had $300 on it just before the game. Then I ended up going and putting another 300 in the machine when it was 14-0. Then I put another 300 in when it was 21-0, and then I put another 200.
Wow, we cut out there. But another note on the Steelers, if we're going to talk about them, a year ago today, Big Ben played his last game in Heinz Field, so a little bit of respect to the GOAT.
Yep.
I was at that game.
Yeah, and I have high hopes for them next year. I hope they get some of the signings that they're talking about. I know they're looking at Jalen Ramsey out there. I think that'd be a great add defensively for our team because he will not be the best guy on the defense. Still, he'll just be another weapon for us.
Yeah, it's exciting. I'm looking forward to when we get to talk about the off season a little bit more in depth. We still got these games coming up this weekend and the Super Bowl, obviously, so we'll try to focus on those. Is there anything else that you guys wanted to go over or run through before we, close shop?
No. I believe that's it for this week. There'll be Pro Bowl next week, so we probably won't have nothing to talk about, but we will be back for a Super Bowl little podcast. And then we will also be starting some NBA talk here soon because we are getting in the full swing of that now. And I was always kind of just waiting for football to calm down a little bit before we jump into that. But I've had my eyes on NBA for a while now, and I can't wait to talk about that.
Yep.
So we will be seeing you guys in 2 weeks or maybe sooner with some NBA talk.
Yep. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in for another episode of The Goods, and we'll see you next week.